Today I'm going to become the student. I will be trying to recreate one of my most popular pieces using a stencil that you can print off at home. It's very easy and satisfying, so let me show you how you can do it. Stick around until the end to see the finished result. I'm going to imagine that I am one of my patrons and I'm going to try and use my stencil to create my design. And I'm going to try to do it better. I don't know. We'll see. First of all, I never ever repeat any of my designs, and I always say that. But today I'm going to approach it from a different side. So I searched for hydrangeas. Now I am opening. This is the design that I would like to try out. There's a link to a video showing how to use my designs. I can choose an A4 design. I can choose the actual one, the same size as I made, and a mirrored image. And I'm going to send it to the printer. Okay, see you in a minute. This is the original image on the A4 page. So if I had a tiny canvas, yeah, I could have done it like this. However, my canvas is going to be identical to the one that I did before. 50 by 20. So what do I do? Well, luckily we've got another option. I've got the same design, just the right size. And I have an option of using the same image or mirror image, depending on how I'm going to apply it. And of course I'm going to stick those three together. So once I stick them together, imagine they're stuck, I could have used straight away my silicone mat if I wanted to do it on silicone mat. So we put it over. I usually tape it. You can tape it to the table, or I tape it like this so it doesn't move. I can turn it any way I want. And now I am applying glue gun. Let's just do one of the flowers. What I like about this technique is if anything goes wrong, if I don't like a section, I peel it off and I reapply another one. If you do it on the canvas, you are risking taking off the part of the canvas, taking off gesso. As I said, this is my preferred way. However, you have to know that if you are doing this, you have to peel it off and stick it onto your canvas. So this method is also good for those of you who are not very confident. Maybe you're starting, maybe making lots of mistakes, or there are some blobs coming from your glue gun. We can redo certain part again and again. So now, look. I've got this, and I can stick it wherever I want on the canvas. But I know some of you don't have silicone mats, some of you want to draw on the canvas, transfer onto canvas directly, so that's what I'm going to do today. I made a mistake, I didn't stick them properly here, so I've got a black pen and I'm just drawing the missing few millimeters. Next, I am going to use a pencil, a soft pencil. It says 4B. B stands for blackness, degree of blackness. This is a soft graphite. The higher the number with B, the softer the graphite, the darker. I recommend B pencils for this job. And all I'm going to do now, I'm going to draw over my black lines. That's it. Okay, now how do I know that I drew over every section? That's an easy question. I'll show you in a second. It took some time for me, of course, to come up with this particular design for this size. They're all original, they're all mine. So here, at an angle, I hope you see it, it's all silver and shiny. You can see really well. It's all grey and shiny. See you in a couple of minutes. Image is drawn. I went onto my website to check. You can reposition it wherever you want it, but that's how I like it. Okay, and now I'm going to tape it down and transfer the design. I wanted to say one more thing. When I usually apply a design onto a canvas, I use either baking paper, you know, I really like baking paper, or tracing paper. I could have traced this flower onto tracing paper and then apply it onto the canvas like this. Just don't cut the paper. I'm pressing that the pencil lead is going to transfer without any problems. Finishing these, I'm hoping I covered every section. Now, in hindsight, please, my friends, if you are going to use my designs and if you're going to transfer, use tracing paper, use baking paper, or even carbon paper, because this is harder. On pressing with your nails or something else on paper, it's not that pleasant. I wanted to do it in the simplest way possible and the quickest way possible. Let's see what the image will look like. Whoa, okay. All right, so far it's looking good. Yay! Okay, so now of course I can keep the design if I want to make yet another one. And so let's put it away. Why am I making them here? First of all, to get rid of some glue. Second reason being that once I apply lots of little balls here, they can't be touching, because if they touch, the new hot one will melt the previous one. So that's the reason. Now this one, of course, is going to be black at the moment. The first one are going to be black. See if it's even hot. Not yet. Definitely don't need a big one, but it's fun. It's just fun. Maybe I'll need a black eye for some creature. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched my rabbit from last week, that was fun. And I made some unusual eyes, so you may want to check that. Color is definitely changing and it looks, I would say, silver. Because there's a hint of black in this transparent glue now. They look like jewelry. So the most jewelry I've ever made was on a highly unusual piece of mine. I don't think many of you have seen it, but I made an Indian woman, Indian in a style of Lipan art. So I made a Lipan art portrait, and she had so much jewelry on, and I was using glue gun to make the jewelry, and it was great. Let me do a leaf. I must say I haven't worked on the canvas directly for quite some time. Still quite a lot of black in it. It's a shocking thing just remembering that I'm going over something that I created before. It's like, what am I doing? Genuinely never ever done anything for the second time. The outcome I'm hoping is going to be different. I'm finishing the leaves. Let's make a couple of flowers. Which one shall I start with? The ones that are underneath, because then I can do the petal on top. It's a nice one. Dot in the middle. I've learned one thing, not to pull the strings when everything is wet if I'm happy with the section, because then you can disturb it. I'm closer to finishing. I'm on this petal now, but I'm trying to be very careful because this one was just touching the leaf. Okay, a few more petals to go, and just dots, dots, dots. Dots will be easy. While I'm doing it, I am thinking what colors to use for the background. Am I going for a very similar one or something totally different? The blues and the purples, or maybe, I don't know, something lighter? Checking with my inspiration. I am going to do the stems now. I was checking whether they were double or single line. Yeah, thicker single line. It's nice to be able to make it thicker after all those petals. Let's do the bigger one. Oh, I made it so thin. Okay, why did I make it so thin? Okay, let me reapply some more. I was being super cautious. The good news is that it kind of melts together. I think it's looking good. Now for the next probably 10 minutes, all I'll be doing is making a blob, twisting the string. I'm trying to make the bigger ones first. Honestly, I'll be happy however the dots go, and especially I'm not going to touch them when they are still wet. I'm working on the last section now. If you see those gaps here, I've decided to glue some of them in because I do have lots of little droplets. It looks like all the wispy bits are gone thanks to my hairdryer. Now I wanted to warn you, if you're using a hairdryer to remove them, please be careful because you don't want to melt your design by accident, so be very careful. I do like those dark ones here, glued them in. That's this. Now the background. I've decided not to make this one dark. The other one was very dark blues, lighter blues and a bit of purple. This time I'm going for peachy colors, peach and pink for the hydrangeas, and pastel background. So what do we have? The beigey colors, that's titanium white and gold. Anything that looks slightly brown is the same with added burnt umber. So white, brown and gold. Those two, you probably wouldn't believe it, but we've got amaranth red and purple. I've added small amounts to white and then I intermix them a little bit so it's not so vibrant. None of them is vibrant. And this one, and this is pure gold. It doesn't look like gold. So we've got 1 part of paint, 2 parts of floral and loads of water. Very runny. I'm even considering adding more water into every one. It's because of the very dense design, you know. Can you see how pretty these look? From the angle, from the side. Here it comes. That's a nice color actually. Really nice milk coffee. That's the kind of coffee I like. Oh, my son just ate it. He loves very strong, no milk. Of course, the darkest will go somewhere here. The one thing you know, it's not going to stay like this. It's going to fly, hence the protection everywhere. I mean, everywhere, partially. This one goes mainly here. You see? Did I mix enough of this pink? Yes, I will add some gold here and there. And now the lightest. Then with the hairdryer, and then I see what to change. Which color do I need to apply some more? That's Monster 2. Super powerful. I'm going to use cold. Let's start with the lower setting first. For those of you who are curious about my Patreon, I post extended versions of my tutorials for everyone each week on there. And I post a stencil based on those pieces every week for my master tier patrons. I do share some of them with my student tier patrons as well, and you can purchase individual ones without signing up too, for just a couple dollars, and it really helps support the channel and my work. So that was the lower setting. Beautiful colors. Whoa! I'm going to use the higher setting. My goodness, I love those colors. Okay, what can I change? Not much. It's a bit too much pink towards the edge for me. So I'm going to change that. Some darker stuff in the bottom. Not sure what happened here, perhaps too much paint. Oh, nice. Honestly, the colors are beautiful. I know they are not my favorite blues, but they look so nice together. So I am more than happy. Now, I don't want to put my sleeve into it. Checking the edges. Fixing this. Of course, collecting the paint and leaving it to dry. You probably want to see the colors that I've collected. I've added them to the existing beige, so it's a bit more paint. Something very similar, of course. So this is going to be kept for another piece. That big hairdryer, it's incredible. This was dry, you won't believe me. when I woke up in the morning. I do have the same colors I used in the background. Blending in. I probably should mix at least 2 more tones with this. Very unusual colors for me. I don't think I've ever made anything. I'm going to fill up all these and then we move on to the other one, which might be a little bit lighter. Now this lot. I think I need a little bit more purple mixed here. It's quite a pretty color. I might add a little bit because it seems to be drying so quickly. Some of them. I am working by the radiator, but honestly, this is so quick. One done, few more to go. I am adding really light ones here. And who knows, I might lighten up the bottom ones as well. Doesn't even look pink here. Looks pink in the container, but not really on the canvas. Flowers are cute, but I think I'm going to add some highlights. Of course, you don't have to be like me. I like those details, and you know it. You know me. I love adding little details. So I am going to add those white sections. I'm happy with the flowers. Now I need shadows around the stems and the leaves, and I will be adding a little bit of more brown to the leaves, I think. Sometimes I put too much. Can you see the difference? Before shadows and after shadows, and it's not much. I think that's the best way to make something come more alive. I did say I am going to add some brown to the leaves, but very small amounts. I'm using basically the same color here, which is mud color. And I added some burnt umber. I will leave all those whiter bits. I like them lighter. I'm going to say it again. I am so glad I didn't use green. You know, yep, it's my preference. I stood up to look from close, and then I noticed it was not planned that I am wearing these colors today. I must have subconsciously thought about the colors and just put that. This is so funny. Anyway, I consider that done, but we are going to add gold now. I'm going to use my finger to apply gold because I think that's the best tool. It looks more natural, doesn't get everywhere, but just in the right places. Watch now. Because on my original piece the flowers were covered with resin, I have to do the same just to make it as similar as possible. I was using blue tack to block some possible gaps. You know, I don't want the resin to seep into the background. I think I would like to add some mica powders, but very, very small amount. The shimmer, bubblegum glow. There's so many colors I could use. What small amount? Well, that's too much. Better putting a smaller amount first and then more if you want more. You see the pink? Oh yes, now you can see. You have to be very careful now. I don't want to drip anywhere on the background. So that's what I will do. Fill each of the petals individually. If you're doing it my way, be careful. Slowly, small amount. It's not going to be easy to wipe the background if you drip on the background. And I'll continue. All applied. Removed some air bubbles. I didn't even see them. Right. There we are. If you enjoyed this one, please let me know in the comments. If you watched till the end, I would really appreciate if you send a flower emoji. And don't forget to check out my Patreon for extended versions of my tutorials. And you can also own this piece or any other of my original art if you head over to my website abcreativeofficial.com. Thank you so much for watching and see you all next week. Bye bye!